Inflation is crushing Pakistan, and we just got news that the IMF is now going to step in. The IMF has officially extended a brand new loan to the country of Pakistan. Their idea is that they want to avert a potential default, and they want to pave the way for more aid, according to Bloomberg. This IMF loan is important because Pakistan needs at least $41 billion in the next 12 months to repay debt and fund imports as foreign exchange reserves shrink to a level that could only cover less than 2 months of their imports. Now, of course, whenever you see money sloshing around, the next question should be, what's their inflation rate? And is it getting better or is it getting worse? Steve Hanke, one of the economists that people pay attention to in some of these emerging markets, he pointed out that his current calculation of Pakistan inflation is at a stunning 43% year over year. He said that recently the IMF agreed to release $1.17 billion in funds for Pakistan, but he doesn't believe that another IMF loan will save Pakistan's economy. Like all the past IMF loans, this one will fail as well. Now, as we take a look at the global standings of inflation, we can see that Pakistan sitting with about 40% or more inflation. They're doing better than places like Ukraine, Laos, Venezuela, Argentina, Cuba, Zimbabwe. But sitting with more than 40% increase in prices year over year isn't exactly reassuring to the people on the ground. Now, when we look at these local economies, what we have to remember is that the growth of the money supply ends up creating issues. But it's not just the government themselves. The more debt that they take on as they try to inject this capital into every corner of their economy, it ends up driving more and more money, chasing fewer and fewer goods. The country of Pakistan, with more than 40% inflation, is already in trouble. But they have so much debt that they can't pay it back. And so now, here comes the International Monetary Fund. They're going to step in and they're going to give them more debt in order to be able to pay off the old debt. That's like an individual consumer saying, I have my first credit card and I can't pay it off. So let me take out a second credit card to pay off the first one. And then when I can't pay back my second credit card, I'll take out a third credit card to pay off the second. More and more debt is not the solution. Ultimately, we need to return to some sort of sound money, digital sound money, where it is not based on countries taking on more and more debt, punishing the value of the money that is held by their everyday citizens. We need a world where people can save till financial security, and we need a world where it's not based on how much debt can you take and how can you go and beg people like the IMF for more money. Ultimately, the citizens of Pakistan, they want to live a happy life. They want to simply pursue financial security for them and their families. And what we have to do is start to implement first principle solutions to these problems. Or we simply kick the can down the road, create more volatility, create more problems, and ultimately relearn the lesson decade after decade after decade. Market intervention will never be as sustainable of a solution as allowing the free market to solve our problems.